So I want to do this thing like versus series, but I'm still doing three strikes and you're out. But I want to do this. So this one is gonna be on DVDs and streaming. Um so which one would I prefer? Let's just look into histories of DVDs. So DVDs were around in the 90s. No. They were around like the late 90s or like early 2000s. Because we still have VHSs, I believe, you know. Um then it got replaced by that. So it was developed in the 90s, I believe. Um and it was released in 96. So, so you would get like stuff cuz that this was going to replace VHS, but I think people were still using them. But then I think in the 2000s you started to see a change around there. Then they started doing the Blu-ray kind of stuff, and then streaming. So let's talk about streaming also. I'm gonna look it up. Actually, I shouldn't have to, but I'm just gonna look up the history. But I actually know it. It was really in the early 2000s. The origins. Some people say that it dates back in the 90s. You know, it really was like the 2000s. And they were an origin. It actually existed in the early 90s, to be quite honest. It was like proto developing. So, you know, I know how people say, well, there was not streaming back in the day, but actually there really was because if you look it up on Google, the origins of streaming services were around in the early 90s with real networks and real player. And there was also some video platforms that was before YouTube. It was Google Video, but then they rebranded as that. Then you have like popular stuff like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify. Well, like today's like Tubi, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, all different kinds of apps, especially what's the other one? HBO Max, some other things. So there's gonna be things that I like about DVDs and streaming. And then after that, we're gonna do the things that we don't like about streaming and DVDs. Okay, let's talk all about the good stuff about it. So with streaming is that you can basically find different things, that you would watch that you can watch, because DVD might not give you what you want sometimes. There might be like obscure animes that may not have gone on there, and it'll give you like footage with them, basically say like lost media or something like that. They'll let you watch certain things, DVD can't do. You can go on YouTube and watch clips, I believe. Yeah. Um, and some other things. And here's what I like about DVDs. You can go to Blockbuster. Actually, Blockbuster doesn't exist. They still have DVDs, but people don't use them. But what I liked about them back then is you can go to the store, especially Blockbuster or Hollywood Film, whatever they have, or you can pick a movie for like $5. You can pick and have like a collection, you know, and you can probably find like some stuff on there. Um, that you might not be able to get. And you can keep it because it's a full copy because you actually own the stuff, because with streaming, you don't own it. You just have that an account, you know. Now let's see the things that I don't like about DVDs and streaming service. Let's start off with DVDs. So there was some issues sometimes with DVD. It doesn't work. Sometimes it does, or sometimes maybe it's because once you break it, because it's breakable, you might break the DVD, but you know sometimes um, you might have to do other things. Sometimes the quality might not work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Now let's look at streaming. With streaming, it buffers, and there's some apps that might not even work. There's no like input sometimes with those too. Um, and you won't be able to own them. You don't own them. You have to have an account because once the trial for like Netflix or Hulu, whatever streaming site is on, you don't have Netflix anymore. It's like a 3 day or like a week trial or a 3 month free trial. That's how they that's how they did it in the 2010s. Especially early 2010s, maybe like early 2000, actually the mid 2000s. Something like that. But and the prices. Oh my gosh. These like streaming service prices, they cost way too much. Way too much, bro. Way too much. They be charging like $20 for a streaming platform. Like this stuff will add up. You might be paying $100 a year because you depending on which streaming platform you get. And I know some people will disagree and some people will agree with me on this, but but them charging that much for that, oh well, they have free movies. Okay, what does that mean? They still have ads. It's not like you're gonna get like a free streaming platform with no ads. That's the thing I don't like. We don't need ads. This is not like, I mean, especially with YouTube. This is not TV. That's why I miss the old YouTube. But with and they need to have like a premium service for like free movies because you have to look up these apps and sometimes those don't work. Those like fan made apps that people make, sometimes like they can't get, different streams, but that's all, to be quite honest, what I don't like and what I like about streaming service and DVD. And I know streaming, they say streaming is the future, but there's not a lot of good stuff on there. So like look at Netflix. Look at the stuff that they make on those streaming platforms. They might not have any good shows on there. What about that too? I know old DVD doesn't make original. Like, what do you expect? They no, you get it on DVD. They don't make originals. They get the DVDs from different companies. Why would they make their own? I don't want to hear nothing stupid like that, dude. And these streaming services didn't make any, don't own these or make any. Even in the past, they didn't make their own originals. What are you guys talking about? And the hype of Tubi, that's not good. It's not a good app. I know some people do like it, but just get a DVD. If you want all that, oh bro, bro, this stuff is free. And what does that mean? You still gonna have to deal with ads, but you know, with DVDs, like they just have like trailers. That's pretty much it for like on there, for different movies. Other than that, you can just see the full movies without no ads. That's what I liked about DVD. And they have Redbox too, where you can get DVDs there for a couple of bucks, like $1. More cheaper than what these streaming services offer us. It's probably not even good stuff. It's not the good stuff. And you can even put it in. There's also a good thing. More things that I like when it comes to DVD. You could put it in your computer, your PlayStation, Um, I think your TV, if it has like a DVD player in there, you can also put it in there. I know you can have streaming services on Xbox, PlayStation, television, computer. I know that. I know we have that now. What else I gotta say? I guess that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'm going to head off right now. So later, later. If you want more content, make sure you like, comment, and share. And if you want to see more things like this. So that's all. And subscribe for more. And I see y'all next time.